I've got an idea. I'm thinking about listening. Listening. If I can get it. Let me get this to play.
Rose Sinowski. She says she rented a room in what she thought was the defendant's house, but as it turned out, he was just a tenant. Things didn't work out with the arrangement because it was very uncomfortable listening to the defendant's nephew have intercourse through the paper-thin walls. She ended up moving out. The defendant owes her $2,150 for security and overpaid electric, so she's suing.
Okay, should be online.
This is the defendant, Steve Chandler. He says the woman shows up at his door one day, claiming she's not going to be paying rent anymore because she heard his nephew having sex through the walls. The woman has some nerve suing him here today, considering she didn't pay him rent for 6 months, and if anyone's owed, it's him. He's accused of having no right to rent.
It's on this fine.
The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for back rent and lawyer's fees.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff moved into the defendant's house but couldn't handle hearing the defendant's nephew stooping his girlfriend next door. But the defendant says the plaintiff is just a deadbeat. It's the case of going out with a bang.
Thank you, Douglas. Rose Sinowski? Yes. You are suing Steve Chandler, your former landlord, for $2,150 that you say he owes you and refuses to repay. You have a counterclaim against her for $5,000 for back rent, electric bills, and lawyer's fees. You're also suing him for lawyer's fees. All right, what happened here?
Okay, this started out with an overcharge of electric. I live in one small room downstairs. He lives in 3 rooms in the upstairs apartment. He has 2 giant fish tanks. He has a giant refrigerator, stove. I have no kitchen. I have a half-small refrigerator. I was paying him $100 when I first moved in, $100 a month and a $100 deposit.
Oh, you're talking about just for the utilities?
Yeah.
How much was rent?
$550.
And what did you have a lease?
Yes, I did.
And did the lease say you were paying $100 in utilities?
The first lease didn't indicate it. The second one that you get when I moved in, that's when it said $100 monthly.
Okay. How much was she getting billed?
She paid half of what the electricity was, and I have the original lease agreement right here that she signed with the half.
Okay. Let me have
Oh
those
my
leases,
God.
please. Talk to me about the lawsuit. What happens that makes you decide you're going to move out?
This is what happened. He had stated I could come up to his apartment anytime I wanted to. That the last tenant used to come up with no clothes on.
Okay, Miss. Oh, he made a pass at you?
I don't know how to take that. I thought it was a little creepy.
It's totally creepy if it happened. But just talk to me and tell me why you decided to leave.
Okay, one was because there was sex going on in the one room that he had offered me to come up and live in. For about a week, he had his nephew over there. They're very loud. I could hear everything they were doing downstairs.
It's not that the sex was going on, but that you could hear it.
I could hear it, and that was the bed I was supposed to move up into, so I decided I was going to stay downstairs. Then I went up to him and I told him that I didn't think he should be charging me electricity. He said, well, then I don't think things are going to work out. I said, look, why don't you just take me to court?
Why does he have to take you to court? Why don't you just move out?
Because I needed time. That's one. 2,
he stopped paying rent.
Yeah, but I was
How many months did you live there without
I held it. Excuse me. This is not a legal apartment we're talking about here, Your Honor. This is an illegal house, and he's a tenant.
How many months did you live in the legal apartment that you apparently later found out was illegal without paying rent?
Let's see. We went to court, I would say.
How long did she live there without paying rent?
She quit paying.
How long did she live there without paying rent? The next thing out of anybody's mouth needs to be a number of months. 6 months.
She didn't pay
Because I'm
October,
not
November,
allowed to
December,
pay
January, February, or March.
Yeah, but it's an illegal apartment.
Is this an illegal apartment?
I don't know, Your Honor. It
really?
is
After
part
all this, you
of
haven't
this house that I happen to that I rent from my landlord. So I don't know if it's illegal or not.
Well, do you have the right to sublet it?
Yeah, my landlord lets me.
May I see your lease?
I do not have that. I'm sorry.
Okay, so now you said something about landlord-tenant court. Were you guys already in court?
No, I never went to court. I went to the attorney.
Did you hire an attorney and send an attorney to go to court?
No. Well, they did. Yes, they did.
What? Does anybody have? Stop.
Yeah, I have the document here.
Yeah, but I never saw anything.
Well, that's between you and your lawyer. If you don't, stop talking. Just hand papers. All right. You are suing him for your security deposit back, which you acknowledge you have the security deposit, right?
Yes.
All right. And then you were suing him for $600 that you feel you were
God, that was
overcharged for
terrible.
electric. But that overcharging is just, you've just decided that you don't want to pay what you had agreed to pay. And then $600 to pay your brother back. What are you talking about?
I borrowed $600 from my brother.
Shoulda had it.
He was helping me out. And I don't fear that it's fair for me to have to pay him for something that he's not even permitted by New York State.
I don't understand what you're saying. Did you pay that money to him?
Yes. Yes, and
Okay,
I have
you pay a lot more than $600. Why don't you just go for broke and sue for every penny you ever paid in rent?
because I didn't know I could do that.
Well, you can't. But I just want to know why you didn't. Okay, then $400 in a lawyer fee. All right.
Because of his lawsuit, Your Honor, there was no reason for a suit. This could have been worked out if we just...
Okay, you're talking about him taking you to housing court when you didn't pay rent for 6 months?
He took me to housing court when it was a 2-month,
Okay, and there's no reason to take you to housing court when you don't pay rent for 2
Not
months?
if your apartment's illegal, Your Honor. I don't think that's
Clearly,
very
he doesn't think that the apartment's illegal.
He
wouldn't
knew.
need
I
housing.
told
All right,
him what I found out. I told him it was illegal. Here it goes.
Where's your
Here's all
proof
the
that the apartment's illegal?
Okay, so this dude wants to get out of the lease because the defendant's girlfriend, the nephew and the girlfriend are having sex all the time, real loud. Can he get out of the deal?
I think you should be able to if you can't sleep in peace.
Okay, so that's the vote for letting him out of the lease.
It's unreasonable behavior.
I think he should just get his own girlfriend that's also loud and noisy.
Have a loud content.
Yeah, loud content.
Point, got your point going inside the courtroom.
The building department said he cannot rent this out.
Okay. Have you heard anything from the building department?
No,
Not
never.
yet.
They
Well, that
haven't.
was for that court case to show the judge that the apartment was not permitted by law to be rented
He shot
out. He's
me
not
somewhere.
permitted by law to be collecting rent.
Oh, okay,
And
that's
it's not permitted by law to be collecting electricity. That's not in my name. It's in his name. He's a tenant, not the owner.
Did you have lawyers representing you?
I had one lawyer.
Sorry, ma'am, I'm not telling you. Did you have lawyers? I was looking down.
I had one attorney that I went to
And did
after
your
I got
lawyer
enough.
tell you that he settled the case with her?
They said that she had agreed to move out on March 31st.
Did she move out?
Yeah,
man,
she
he really got me with something.
moved out March 31st.
So then why, if you already settled this case, that appears to be what you've handed me, a stipulation
That
where
was-
both sides
no,
agree to
that
walk
couldn't
away.
have been.
And then security deposit is to be returned according to the law. Okay? He did not return your security deposit.
No.
But you're not just suing for your security deposit, you're suing for all this other stuff which you already settled. Now, why are you bringing up in a counterclaim for $5,000, something that you already settled?
It was because she started it, and I had all these back rent. I had the back rent that she hadn't paid. And so
She
I brought
started it, Mom. All right. Do you understand that you gave up your right to fight for back rent when you settled the case?
No, I did not understand.
What do you think settling the case means? It means she is saying, you owe me money. You owe me for overcharging me electric. You owe me for money I paid you in rent, and blah, blah, blah. And somehow your lawyer thought it would be a good idea for you to forgo so there's got to be a reason that he thinks that.
They wanted me to settle it. He didn't want to have much of
Right,
more to do with
probably
it, so.
because you're not supposed to be renting it out. But I just know that all the things you're suing for, you already settled. So now there's only one issue left that hasn't been settled, and that is the issue of the security deposit. So the reason you're keeping the security deposit is because you never got all the rent?
I never got all the rent, yes, and the fact that the carpet was totally demolished and wet when she left. It was
Okay,
soaking wet.
I need you to show me proof of any damages that you say entitle you to keep the security deposit.
And these are a couple of befores and after.
And I also
How
have a
old
video.
was this carpet?
It was old, and like I said, the before, it just was a lot worse after she left.
Your answer to me for why you're keeping $550 is because you gave her a rug that looked like that, which has a bunch of stains, and she gave it back to you looking like this, which has, I think, one more stain. And your counterclaim doesn't say one word about damages. Put your paper down. Your counterclaim really talks about, I want my rent and my legal fees and all the stuff that was already taken care of. You have to return the security deposit, $550, verdict for the plaintiff. As for everything else, it's been settled.
Get some reaction from the defendant. Here he is. Come on out of here. She didn't collect everything she sued for, and you got nothing on your counterclaim. What's your feeling on that?
Well, you know, it is what it is, and I would have rather have won, but the judge was right in what she said when it came to keeping to the facts.
What about what she said about you coming up there and making those kind of strange
No, I think she was in Never Neverland. No, absolutely
Never
not.
say anything like
No.
that to her?
No.
Just made that up?
Yeah, I'm a single guy and I'm living in from there.
Tied the leader.
All right, so. All right, step on in here a little closer. What's your feeling coming out? $550. That's
Okay,
it.
it's fine.
It's something.
It's fine. He needs to be a little bit more respectful towards women. Maybe just ask somebody out, or rather than frighten them half to death because of some behavior that's a little awkward.
Ask you out, for instance?
I wouldn't go out with him.
Harvey?
Okay, there were lots of claims thrown back and forth. Bottom line here, if the person next door is having loud sex,
5 minutes
that
remaining.
is just part of the deal. It's lawful. You have to live with it.
This is the plaintiff, Giovanni Santoro. He says he hired the defendant to restore the chrome work on his 1958 Alfa Romeo Touring Spider classic car. Unfortunately, the hack destroyed the parts he was supposed to restore. Now it's gonna cost him an arm and a leg getting the job done right because of all the defendant's mistakes. He's suing for $2,000, the amount he needs to make things right. This is the defendant, Al Dorbecker. He says he's been in business for 45 years and can smell a rat when he sees one. The plaintiff sent him the chrome parts. He fixed them, stripped them, and sent them back as instructed. The guy planned this whole thing, set him up. Now the nasty louse is trying to get him to pay for his restoration by suing him here today. He's accused of crummy chroming.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Plaintiff had a 1958 Alfa Romeo. Says defendant screwed it up. Defendant says no way. It's a case of alpha male.
Giovanni Santoro, you are suing 21st Century Finishes Incorporated, represented here by Mr. Dorbecker. You're the owner?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, for $2,000, the amount you say it will cost to repair some parts that you say he did not repair correctly. Tell me what's going on.
Mentioned in the late April, I contacted 21st Century for some chrome to be done. Briefly
From
talk.
where?
I mean,
What kind of chrome? Chrome
it's
that
a
belong?
chrome car part, fog lights and tail lights of a car, a 1958 Alfa Romeo.
Ooh, nice, okay.
I contacted the gentleman. He said that he wanted to see
How did you find him?
on the computer to Emming Motor News.
Okay.
So I contacted him. He said I had to send the part to him to evaluate the work to be done.
Okay. So you send it to him, he looks at it, and he gives you a quote.
Yes, he gave me a quote. He said he
You
would-
agree on the terms, and the terms were that you were going to pay him $1,100.
That's correct.
All right, so you do the job, and how long does it take you to do the job?
Job like our normal turnaround time is about 3 weeks, and then if there's any type of repairs or restoration that has to be done, that's additional time, and that's a time and materials type thing.
Okay, well, what was to be done?
According to the agreement with the chrome plate, Mr. Santoro's parts.
All right, did you have to strip it first?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you have the actual agreement between the two of you, or emails that will show me what the agreement was?
It was primarily verbal.
Okay, do
I
you
only
have
had
anything in
invoice.
writing, or no?
Was a verbal agreement through email.
Okay, according to you, what was the agreement? For $1,100, what was he supposed to do?
He was supposed to strip the chrome,
Uh-huh.
fix the pinhole, and re-chrome it.
How do you fix the pinhole? What was wrong with the pinhole?
The pinhole has to be TIG welded with the same material
The pinhole has to be
to be TIG weld.
TIG weld.
Weld, yes,
Okay.
W-E-L.
And what does that mean? What did they do
It's
to the...
a special electronic that melted the material on the same stage.
Okay, what is he talking about? What happened? What has to happen with the pinholes?
The hole that he's referring to is for oxidation, deterioration of the base metal.
So the pinholes that are there are rust. We want that gone. We do want that to be filled. So do you have pictures of the finished product that you sent to him?
Yes, I do.
Okay, let me have that. And you received the finished product and you felt that it had not been done appropriately, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is it that you felt was not done appropriately?
They were destroyed more than when I had originally.
Okay, that's an opinion. I want to know, I want you to tell me what was not done.
It wasn't had.
Okay, I'm sorry. Wait, stop. I cannot possibly finesse, you know, get an idea of what this looks like from a piece of paper. Do you have it in photo paper, or do you have it in your computer or your phone? Do you have pictures?
Yes, ma'am.
Are your pictures on a piece of paper too, or are they on something that I can actually see?
Chill out.
Okay. So I need you to come over here so you can tell me what your pictures are.
Oh man, no man.
What is this?
This is the 10 lines originally which I sent prior to when I sent it to them.
Okay, these are all before?
Yes. That's the pinhole that were existing that I wanted.
Yeah, that's
to
rust.
start. Yes.
Okay. These are all before?
Yes.
Kingslayer.
Okay, where is after?
After I have
Oh,
in the
well,
bag.
go back. Okay.
Yeah, I have it in the bag. I couldn't take a picture of it.
Game over.
What?
I couldn't take a picture because...
Okay, you have the actual item?
Yes, I do, yes.
Better yet, bring it up. Perfect. In fact, I'll go
Up there?
Yeah, no, I'll go over there.
Classic car, awesome or too much trouble? It's awesome. I mean, what's too much trouble? Trust me. Going inside the courtroom.
The only picture we have of how it looked when you sent it to him the first time is that the one you printed out, not on photo paper, which would have cost you all of $1, but on a regular piece of paper where you can't see any detail or richness to the photo, correct? You don't have a picture of it when he sent it to you. This is how you sent it back to him and then he stripped it, right? Right, exactly. So I can't see the job he did other than from that photo.
Just step back on.
So I'm gonna have to trust both of you on how it looked. Okay, so you tell me how it looked, then you tell me how it looked. Go ahead. What was wrong with it?
Well, they were damaged from the heat applied with it, with the acetylene,
How were they damaged?
with the heat. The pot metal,
No, when I look at it, what would I see damaged?
the damage was more like you put something in hot water, it makes like an orange, whatever, it makes a crack and hole in everything. It was...
Okay, if you want me to believe that that's how he sent the finished product to you, I need to see a picture of how he sent the finished product to you looking like that.
That one is
Because
just
the picture
like
he does have, I don't see anything orange in it. I don't see anything cracked in it. It's not a great picture, but if you want me to believe that that's how it looked, I need to, you know.
Well, he agreed with me that the job wasn't done properly.
Did you agree with him that the job wasn't done properly?
No.
Okay, so let me explain something to you. I have a husband who is so obsessed with cars and is so picky about every tiny little thing, so you got the right judge for your case, okay?
Great.
Because he's crazy. Every little thing has to be perfect, and he'll send it 5 times to be perfect. He'll see things that no one else will see.
4,
And as far as I'm concerned, if that's his
2,
midlife crisis, you know,
1.
raise the roof. I'm doing
Team
fine.
snipers.
Okay, if that's the other woman in my life, I'm okay.
Gain
But you still got to prove it in a court of law. I need to see some proof of that. That it's not just you being too picky. That he didn't do his job. I have to see proof of that. What you've done is you took that and then you said to him,
Oh, man.
you
My
know
screen's
what?
messed up.
Strip it. I want it to look differently, so I'm sending it back to you. And I want you to strip the whole thing and just send it to me stripped. I'm going to have somebody over here chrome it. Correct?
No, they were going to take care of the repair, and I had offered to rechrome it at no charge.
They were going to take care of the repair, and then he was going to send it back to you, and then you were going to chrome it, which is a spray, right? You do that
No,
right?
that's an electrolytic process, man.
So you stripped it, sent it back to you. That's a stripped thing, and you never had somebody else do the repair, or you
Well,
did?
the strip isn't done in the proper way because all the lead that's supposed to
All
be
right, now
coming
here's
out
what
of
you're
it.
going to need. You have no evidence for me of how it was unsatisfactory.
5 minutes
by pictures.
remaining.
You then have him strip, what did you do to that? Strip it?
I stripped the chrome.
And then send it back to you, and you're supposedly going to take it to somebody else, but that somebody else tells you that it's not stripped properly, so it's...
Correct.
Okay, great. Where is that somebody else to testify? Do you have an affidavit? Do you have anything, something to prove your case? No, it's not sir, but that's all right. Then I find in favor of the defendant in this case because you do not have sufficient proof to request any of your money back. Not having a single picture of how he sent it damaged, not having a single statement from another expert saying that how he stripped it was inappropriate. Verdict for the defendant.
can you expect to win the case without any hard evidence for the judge?
The evidence is everything here, sir. Everything was there, everything. The agreement was...
You got the photos in there, the
Yes,
pictures?
everything is pictures, everything is here.
You had pictures, but you didn't show them to the judge?
I showed to the judge, but they weren't pictured when the job was done. I wasn't meant to take the gentleman to court. I want him to complete my job. I still want to send the job to him to complete the job. But I got involved on the stripping, which was on the process. It wasn't stripped the proper way.
I know, we heard all that.
Okay.
All right. That's the man. Follow that man right around the corner right there. Follow that guy. All right, step on in here. Your work, he says your work wasn't up to par here.
You said shoulder surgery, sorry.
What'd you have?
Shoulder surgery.
All right. Hope you're feeling better. He says your work wasn't up to par.
Well, I've got hundreds of customers or thousands of customers that are more than satisfied with the work that we're doing. We've been in business for 45
Well,
years.
what are you doing in court then?
You can't solve everybody's problems all the time. Mr. Santoro asked me to strip the pieces and send them back to him, which I did. And he was going to have them repaired and send them back to me, which he chose to come to court as opposed to sending them back to
I
have them
know.
redone
We
again.
know that, Bart. You stand by your work here? You think you did your best work?
I do. I stand by my work 110%.
Okay. Barbie?
This is so simple. No evidence, no judgment.
This is the plaintiff, Sado Salafosky. He says he hired the defendant to fix his roof, gave the guy a deposit,
Yeah,
and
no,
then
crazy.
never showed up to do the work. The nerve of some people in this day and age who think they can get away with ripping hard-working people like him off. He's suing for $1,100, the amount he's owed.
They got me.
This is the defendant, Kelly Caulfield. He says he went out and bought all the supplies to fix the plaintiff's roof, delivered them to his house, and then the company he worked for went belly up when the recession hit. He spent all the money the plaintiff gave him on the materials. The plaintiff has those materials, so in his mind it's a wash, and he owes nothing. He's accused of taking off with a guy's dough.
All parties, can you raise your hand?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. Plaintiff gave the defendant a deposit for a roof and says the defendant just disappeared. But the defendant says he bought the materials, but his company folded. But he gave the plaintiff the materials. It's the case of you give bad roofies.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Sado Kalafosky.
Sado Salifosky.
Sado Salifosky. You are suing Kelly
Fuck me, man. I'm not even pulling the
for
trigger.
$1,100 that you say he owes you, 900 of it, a deposit that you gave him and he never did the work, and 200 of it, your gas money, because you went to his house 4 times to try to get your money. Okay, tell me what happened.
Well, my roof fell
got
apart.
me.
Parts of my roof, I guess the wind hit it and it fell apart.
What kind of roof is it?
Actually, you want to see a picture?
Yes, but what kind of roof is it? What kind of roofing material is it?
Shingles.
Okay.
Anyway, the wind hit it and just fell apart and needed repair.
Okay.
And so I called Mr. Caulfield here, and they came. They saw the problem,
I
and
can't see the roof in this picture.
no, the front there.
It's an overhang, Your Honor.
Okay, that's the part that you were going to be fixing?
Victory.
Okay, and for that he was going to charge you how much?
$1,800.
Okay, and so you gave him a deposit of $900. How did you find him to do this work?
Well, he's done work for me before.
Okay.
So-
And you have been happy before, obviously?
Yeah, I've been calling him.
All right,
They call
so
me.
you gave him a $900 deposit. There's no dispute about that, right? And what happened?
And then he never came after that.
Okay, and
You
did you
know,
call him and find?
I would call him, yes. Then he said that his wife has a brain tumor. Then he couldn't make it. She's in a hospital. He has to deal with that or whatever. So okay, fine. So I gave him time, do whatever he needs to do. So I just waited and waited.
And so when did you finally, by the way, did he buy supplies and leave them for you?
Yeah, he brought, so I don't know if he bought them, but he brought supplies and he left them on the balcony of my tenant.
What kind of supplies?
A piece of wood, a long piece of wood and some plastic things that he needed to, to put up there.
Okay, and then what happens?
And then they just stood there for months. That's basically it.
So did you ever ask for your money back?
Yeah, I did.
And what did he say?
He said, no, I don't have it now. I don't have it, and I can't give it to you. So then I start calling him and I start visiting his house. I don't
You
have
went to his
money.
house?
Yes.
How did you find out where he lived?
Oh, I have the house just right here.
Okay, so you go to his house and what happens?
So I go, he said, I don't have the money so many times. Did
he ever say to you, you got supplies and
No.
it's a wash?
No, the supplies was still in the basement.
The materials he left
Yeah,
are still in the
it's
basement?
still in my basement.
All right, what's going on?
First and foremost, that was not my wife that had the brain tumor. I was working for my brother's company, and it's his wife. He was thinking he was talking to me, but he was actually talking to my brother.
Can I see the contract? Was the contract with you or with your brother's company?
I signed the contract. It was
No,
from
was it with you or with your brother's company?
my brother's company.
Okay. Okay, but I don't see your brother's company's name here at all. Is this a side job you were doing?
So, does the plaintiff get the deposit back?
I would say that the plaintiff should get the deposit back. That's the defendant's fault for buying the materials. That's relevant to the actual case.
Because the defendant didn't do the job.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the business. You buy the materials beforehand. If you don't complete the job, you don't get paid.
Fair enough. What do you think?
I think he should get the deposit back, but I think he's kind of out of luck in this case.
Why?
I think he should have had parameters set up.
The parameters are do the damn job.
Well, when you give someone a chunk of change and they disappear, you're kind of out of luck. Write a check and then cancel it.
That doesn't always work, okay? Going inside the courtroom.
Well, I was going to do the job with my brother. My brother was there when I
When you what?
when I signed the contract. He met me there
Was,
after.
was his brother there?
I was the only one there.
Okay. So in any event, but what happened? Because he paid you $900 and you didn't do the job.
Because it needed more work, my brother's company went under, and I just never went back.
Well, then why don't you return the guy's money? Then that just makes you a thief.
I
don't
left the
understand.
materials at the job.
What materials did you leave at the job?
I bought shingles, I bought fascia board, I bought ice and water barrier.
Okay, can I see the receipt for $900?
I don't have the receipt. This was 3 years ago.
Okay. Well, then where do you think this is going? You think I'm going to let you keep the guy's $900 when you said you'd do something you didn't do? What are you making a face for? You got a lot of nerve making faces while I'm talking to you. Are you kidding me? You took it. If you paid a guy $900 to do something and he left a few supplies there, go pick up your supplies. He still got them. You're the guy who left it behind and then never did the job. I mean, how are you self-righteous about this? You should be so ashamed of yourself. Are you still in this business?
No, I'm not, Your Honor.
Okay.
I was working for another company. I wasn't working for myself.
You keep saying that, and yet you contracted for yourself.
I understand.
Okay. Now, he comes to your house, apparently. Tell me how that went.
He came to my house and harassed my wife.
How?
He called her profanities.
Like what? Your wife?
Yeah.
Did you do that?
I don't know, my head was flying, so anything could have come out.
Really? Because when my head is flying, that word doesn't come out of my mouth.
I don't.
That's funny, because that kind of must live in your heart for it to come out of your mouth.
It may have come out.
Are you kidding me? You go to a guy's house and you call his wife an insulting, derogatory, sexist, bad word? What's wrong with you? It's not important to sue.
I apologize if I said anything horrible.
Oh, you think? Do you ever tell the guy? What do you tell the guy every time he's coming in?
Get out of here.
Okay.
Leave.
When he calls you and says, I want my money back, you're not doing the job, I paid you $900, back when the thing happens, what is your answer to that?
He never called me back.
Oh, come on. A guy gives you $900 and you're going to tell me that the guy doesn't want you to
Your
show up?
Honor, I'm telling you the truth. He called my brother.
Okay, but
Me and my brother have done work for this
can
guy.
I just ask you a question? You sign a contract to do something and you didn't do it. Do you call him?
You're absolutely right.
All right, so give the guy back his $900. Verdict for the plaintiff, $900. You don't get $200 for gas. And if you want your supplies back that have been in his basement, then let's make arrangements through Officer McIntosh for a third party. I don't want you two in contact with each other to pick up the supplies from his basement. That's my judgment.
All right, let's see what the defendant has to say about this. Okay, you heard the judge rule against you here, and so what's your comment? It is what it is.
They got me.
Yeah, I know. But
God
contracts, contracted to do a job didn't get done. What do you think? Should happen.
They got me.
He got his money. He's all set.
All right, okay. All right, this way. Okay. Thank you. All right, step on in here. Some weird comments came out of your mouth, too.
I don't even remember what I said.
How come you don't remember what you say? You say things and you don't remember them?
It's just,
What?
I get blocked.
What's going on up there?
See, I get tongue-tied already.
Remember what you just said? Yeah. Did you? Harvey?
I'm telling you, listen to this tip. when you hire a contractor, and every state has what they call contractor's licensing board, call the board or check online and see if the contractor you're about to hire has problems, discipline problems, problems with bad work. You need to do that before you hire him.
Iedereen gaat luisteren hier. Iedereen wordt gebinkt.
These are the plaintiffs. Elizabeth and James Callahan.
Victory!
Elizabeth said she and her husband signed a one-year lease with the defendant, and she turned out to be the worst landlord in the world. No hot water in the middle of the winter. Ended up moving out, and are now having one heck of a time getting their security back. They're suing for $3,781.75, the amount they're owed. This is the defendant, Nancy Chen. She says the
Hello.
fence up and left her high and dry, costing her a month's rent.
I didn't realize anybody was here.
Besides, they were smokers. The place reeked. The carpets needed to be cleaned, and she had to paint the walls to get the stench out. Owe them a refund for security? She thinks not. She's accused of being a loosey-goosey landlord.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant was a rock-bottom landlord and fleeced them, but the defendant says the plaintiffs left without notice and they were smokers who stunk up the place. It's the case of Tobacco Road.
Okay, Elizabeth and James Callahan, you are suing your former landlord, Nancy Chen, for $3,781.75, the balance of a security deposit that you feel she unlawfully withheld. Okay, tell me what happened.
June 19th, 2013, we moved into the home.
Okay, and what kind of home is it?
It's a townhouse.
Okay, and who was living there?
My husband, myself, and two of our sons.
All right, and what goes wrong?
Well, when we first moved in, I wasn't there initially for the first at least 6 to 8 weeks because unfortunately we had two sons that were in a horrific car accident.
Oh.
And that happened on July 13th.
Are they okay?
My one son is still going through surgeries. He's had 23 surgeries so far. So he'll be okay. Right? He's still in the process of going through stuff. So we lived.
And the other son's okay?
The other son had his teeth knocked out, but he's okay.
SWAT team deathmatch.
So when we initially
were
moved,
they seatbelted?
Yes. Yes.
Things
the
messed up.
SUV just turned
Oh, wow.
a few times, and
the one they were in.
And
Lost
it was
the
horrific.
lead.
And my one son, Clint, he was hurt really bad. We didn't know for weeks whether he would live or die.
Oh, I'm so
So
sorry.
I
to
mean,
hear
it
that.
was
I'm glad
a
to hear that
life-altering
it's better.
experience. Yeah, and
Yep.
Because we were basically living up North Jersey, we were in the home in the beginning, and there were a lot of things that were wrong. There was no electricity in an outlet in the
Not
laundry
good about the
room.
portals.
The bathroom, the half bathroom on the main level, there was no water in the bathroom because the faucet wasn't hooked up. It was literally laying on top of the sink. There were
Okay, let's fast forward to at the end of your lease, you end up staying there.
yes.
And you're
5
now a
minutes
month to month
remaining.
because you didn't have them sign another lease, correct?
No, we have an agreement. Like,
Did you have them sign a new lease in writing?
we did it. But we have the text message.
It doesn't matter. If you want a one-year lease, it has to be in
Yeah.
writing. That's the law.
I have something from
So
the
you end up going. You live there a year, and then you live there another how many months?
8 months.
Okay. And then you decide that you're moving out.
Yes.
And you tell her that you're moving out when?
January 25th, I believe it was.
Verbally or in writing?
Verbally, January 25th until the 30th. On the 31st of January, I mailed a letter.
A certified letter?
I
Do you
have
have
the
the proof of the certification?
Absolutely.
All right, telling them that what?
I'm
Telling
dead.
her that what? That you would move out
That we would be moving out
at the end of
there.
February?
No, at the end of, yes, I'm sorry,
At the end of
February.
All right, and what day did you move out?
I was out of there, we were out of there on February 25th. I cleaned the place, I had it cleaned,
Oh my
I
God.
did the carpets, and we did a walkthrough on February 27th, but we were out of there by the 25th and handed her the keys on the 27th of February.
Can I see the proof of mailing and certified letter?
And also there, Your Honor, is when the post office tried to attempted to deliver that certified letter the first time, the proof there.
Oh my God, horrendous.
Did they give you did you get a notice that you had a certified letter that you needed to pick
Yeah,
up?
that's on February 2nd.
But in the other law, it's deemed mailed at the, you have to postmark it. It's like your taxes, where you have to have it postmarked by April 15th. It's the same thing. And so long as she has proof that she mailed it with 1 month's notice, that would suffice if you have a month to month. If you have a lease, it's different. A written lease.
I have, if I get notified in writing on the first day of the month.
No, it's of the date of the mailing, not of the date that you get it. That's the part that you're saying wrong. And according to this United States Postal Service printout, the date that it was mailed was January 31st.
Oh.
Okay. So now, is there another reason that you kept it besides notice? Because it's not working for you in the notice.
Oh, that was not good.
Okay, let's talk about that. According to you, you have damages as a
Yeah,
result.
the smoke in the house right now, then, you know, we like, after the move out, on that day, when the walkthrough, it's night. I couldn't see, so like, after.
Could you smell?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You know, actually, I'm not that sensitive about it, but the new tenant, they're very.
The new tenant is sensitive to the smell. I'm very sensitive to it.
Yeah, so they have like, we hired like a carpet cleaner to cleaning, and we buy the new paint, repaint the house, and also the smell is still there. So like we have.
Did
like,
your tenant move out?
They will move out if we don't
Did
stay.
they move out?
Game over.
Not yet.
Okay. And can you show me the bills for,
Yeah,
were you smoking in the house?
No. Yes.
I smoke occasionally.
I'm dead right now.
I smoke it outside.
Do you smoke cigarettes?
No.
Do you
She
smoke
doesn't allow me to
cigarettes?
smoke it
Does
outside.
anybody else smoke cigarettes?
No.
Was there a smell of cigarettes in your house from anybody?
It was
From the
never a
prior
problem.
tenant, from anything?
Nothing. They came to the house quite often, and you know.
And
walked
never
in.
said anything?
They loved
Never
us
said
there. They were begging
Did a
us to stay.
walkthrough and
Never
didn't
said-
mention the smoke?
Never said a word to us.
Kept your deposit and sent you a letter. Kept part of your deposit, sent you a
Right.
letter.
Right,
And did the letter say anything about smoke?
nothing.
Can I see the
Begged us
letter?
to stay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If the stench was so bad, why didn't you mention it as a reason to keep money? And by the way, why did you keep exactly 1 month's rent as the money?
It wasn't done